Tuesday, September 6th, coming up live. We're giving you a view of conception with the most amazing baby stories you've ever heard. First, a couple who went to a surrogate so they could have a child of their own are telling you how they ended up with not one, but two babies, and you won't believe how it happened. Then, two separate car accidents tragically snatched their 4 children away from them, and they're revealing how their heartbreaking struggle to become a family again ended with a miracle. Plus, there's a sperm bank that exclusively uses the smartest men on the planet as donors, and a mom who used their services is telling you if her babies ended up being little geniuses.
It sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie. 25 years ago, Nobel Prize winners and men of superior intelligence were asked to donate their sperm to a repository for germinal choice, a sperm bank that promised to help moms give birth to baby geniuses. Well, did it work? Let's find out. Please welcome Leandra Ramm, who used their services to conceive her 2 daughters, Leandra and Courtney, and David Plotz, the author of The Genius Factory, the curious history of the Nobel Prize sperm bank. Welcome to The View. That was an outfit. Okay, how many, David, let's start with you. How many actual Nobel Prize winners ended up donating sperm to the genius?
There were 3 that ended up donating sperm to the repository, to the Genius Sperm Bank. But they actually never ended up fathering any of the children.
Were they not selected?
What do you mean, were they not
You
selected?
selected by the different women?
No, they were selected. The problem was that they tended to be a little bit older, and so their sperm counts were a bit lower, so the founder of the sperm bank decided he wanted to go out and recruit younger, outstanding men.
Okay, so
that's what he
men of
wanted.
superior intelligence, but not necessarily Nobel Prize winners.
Exactly, intelligence, athletic ability, so forth.
And David, before writing this book, you actually wrote several articles about the Genius Sperm Bank, and you also wanted to contact donors, mothers, and children involved in this. So how many actually contacted you? You wanted them to come forward, and then did you reunite any of them?
I did. What I did is I wrote in this online magazine, Slate, where I work, and invited people to email me or call me, and I ended up hearing from about 30 children and from probably about a dozen donors who probably fathered most of the 200 children who came out of the bank in total. And what happened was that the donors were contacting me in part because they wanted to meet their biological children, and the children sometimes were contacting me because they wanted to meet their biological fathers. And so in cases where they all wanted to meet, I started to...
You played matchmaker.
I played matchmaker, yes.
Okay.
Adrian, actually, let's start with you, because you and your husband were unable to have biological children on your own, so you turned to the Genius Sperm Bank for help back 1983, I think it was, right? Okay. So did you turn to the sperm bank in hopes of getting one of these super babies that they were talking about?
No, I was never interested in what super baby, I didn't even know what that meant. I just wanted a healthy baby. And I knew the repository for germinal choice could provide for that because they did extensive medical and background on the donors, and I knew that donors were intelligent and they were accomplished individuals.
And that's what you were looking for?
I really was looking for a healthy baby, but I wanted like the best possible start. And if I could have a sperm that carried the genes for intelligence, why not? I mean,
Couldn't hurt.
Couldn't hurt. I
Good
guess
way to start.
how the process worked is all the donors are given a color, correct? And the donor that you chose was donor clear. And so you're given a piece of paper, if I'm correct, and that paper tells you like everything you'd probably want to know about the donor, as much information as you could get. What did you find out? You have this paper still to this day.
Yes, I still have it. I knew that Clear, that was the donor that I chose. He was a professor of a heart science at a major university, and he had done important research in his field. I knew his ancestry was Northwestern Europe. He had musical talents as well as athletic talents. He had his own children, 2 children of his own that were healthy, and his health background was excellent.
You got a lot of information.
So then, Adrian, you gave birth to Leandra, then you went back to the Genius Sperm Bank and ended up having a second child, Courtney. Okay, so that we've got both girls there. Now, interestingly enough, they're from 2 different donors. I understand you did try to use donor clear for the second time.
Yes, I did.
Why didn't that work out?
He had already sired 10 children, and that was the maximum allowed for each donor.
Okay.
10?
So, 10.
That is, what if they run into each other and marry each other?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah,
isn't
we
there
have
that
to make
danger
sure
of that sort of thing?
That we know the,
Yeah.
the background of.
Really?
of her mate. You know, we do have to know that.
So that's like one of your first questions, Miss Ma'am. You have to say, okay, now how were you conceived? Okay, if Clear's in your background, you got to talk, right? Exactly.
No, then you went back a third time, and with the same donor that you used with Courtney.
Yes.
You now have a son, Logan. So that now you have 3 beautiful children. And Leandra, you're actually studying opera at the Manhattan School of Music.
Right.
Knowing what you know about your donor father, do you think you turned out like him?
You know, it's really hard to say because I know so little information, and without having met him, you know, I don't really know. But I mean, there are similarities like hair color, eye color.
He was musically
Right,
inclined.
exactly. But I think I got that from my mom as well because she's a pianist, and you know, I've always gotten good grades, and I know he's really intelligent. So.
So there are some similarities
Yeah.
there for sure.
Leandra, I know one of the reasons why you said you'd come on and talk about your story today is because you want to meet your biological father.
Right.
What do you hope to learn from him, and what would you like to say to him?
The most important thing I want to tell him is that I thank him so much for what he did. Because I thought really it was so generous and very considerate to infertile couples. And, you know, if I never get to meet him, it would just be great to know that he knows that I really appreciate what he did. And that I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for him.
That's
So
true.
I really thank him so much.
Are you looking for yours too, Courtney?
Not right now, no.
You're not interested?
I am really happy with the family that I have, and I love the father who I have, so it's not really
I'm sure
a priority.
she does too, right?
But you know a lot about your biological father. He was an Olympic medalist, correct? So, and you're a gifted ballet student, so you obviously share some similarities there.
He's
as
also
well.
a straight A student.
Straight A student. Yeah, you're doing well, let me tell you. But right now, you're just content with knowing what you know.
I wonder if you're smart because you know that genetically you're supposed to be smart, or did you just, you know, that's an interesting question.
Well,
whether-
or do you feel pressure now? I mean, that would make me feel a lot of pressure.
See, I think it's because we found out at such a young age that I don't feel any pressure. I think I was like 2 years old when I found out. So I've been always very comfortable with it because it's something, you know, that I just incorporated into my life at a very young age.
Courtney, I was just sitting here thinking, I know there are a lot of adoptees that feel the exact same way about their fathers that were in their hearts also. So do you feel pressure? Okay, my sister wants to meet her biological donor, and I'm not feeling that way. Are you very clearly individuals?
Well, I don't know. I just am really happy with my father, and I don't, just because she wants to find out doesn't mean I necessarily want to.
David, what do you think about all this? Like, you know, this genius gene pool. Doesn't it, you know, in Germany they did this, except they wanted them to be, you know, Aryans instead of brilliant. And I wonder what your opinion of that is.
I think this was a very different kind of project. This was not a Nazi project. This was a project to try to help a few mothers and fathers who really couldn't have children on their own, and to give them the best chance they could get.
I mean, the girls here obviously are gifted, so it worked in this case. But there were, I mean, of the 30 that you studied and contacted, are they also as gifted and talented?
Yeah.
I think this goes back to what Joy was saying a second ago. They are, in general, they certainly are. There's a wide range. Some of them are as talented as Leandra and Courtney are, and some aren't. But the range goes, you know, down from there. But I think it has a lot to do with what kind of mother will choose a sperm bank like that, and what kind of how she'll raise her children and give them the opportunities to become intelligent. And
She's
to
involved
cultivate
and concerned.
herself.
And I'm still working on Nobel Prize winners reading Playboy magazine.
They all didn't get the Nobel Prize for science, okay? Thanks to David Plotz and, of course, the Ramm family. We wish you all the best. We'll be right back.